tax-neutral international financial centers like the Cayman Islands efficiently support global economic growth and innovation in developed and developing countries around the world without causing tax harm.
Tax neutrality is very important because it means that no double taxation is being imposed, which means that there's no harm to other countries. In effect, tax is always payable by the user or by the investor in their home jurisdiction, but they don't have to pay an additional layer in the Cayman Islands, which does not impose tax on structures that are established here.
Cayman Finance represents the entire financial services industry in the Cayman Islands. We represent our member firms, but also 15 industry associations. And we represent all 6 key sectors within the industry: investment funds, and asset management, banking, insurance, reinsurance, capital markets, and trusts. The Cayman Islands extends value to other countries by facilitating their access to investment capital as well as financing, which allows countries to expand their economies and also innovate. It provides inward investing, which assists with things like business growth, job growth, tax revenue growth, as well as investing into infrastructure. In addition to that, the Cayman Islands financial services industry assists countries, businesses, individuals, including pensioners, access diversified investment opportunities around the world.
Cayman is a very sophisticated jurisdiction. It's been a leading international financial centre for decades. And one of the things that has established it as a leader is the fact that it has a great reputation for domicile for asset managers, banks, trust companies, insurance companies and other businesses. And the reason for that is there's sound political and economic climate, it's got a great financial services regulation and regulator, and very good professionals working in the jurisdiction.
The Cayman Islands has adopted many key standards before most jurisdictions because we believe in being proactive. For any democratic society, adopting and passing legislation takes time. There's industry consultation, there's the drafting of the legislation, and there's the passing of it in Parliament. So by delaying until a proposal actually becomes a hard and fast standard, you are then limiting the amount of time you have to pass that legislation and to put it into effect before you're assessed by the international assessor. And that also then limits the amount of time that you have to put it in place in a reasonable fashion and have your industry adjust to it. So our approach is to be proactive rather than reactive for those reasons.
The interesting thing about Cayman is its diversity. So we obviously have members in Cayman who are local to the island, but also expats who've arrived on island. And we actually run a program in Cayman called Girl Force, where we have our members who are young in their career mentoring local Caymanian young women who, even though they live a few miles from this major finance center, the truth is they don't know it exists. And so what we're doing is working with local schools, with the Department of Education in Cayman, to ensure that young women are inspired to come into the finance industry and to then take on those international opportunities. So diversity in Cayman is a really critical piece to one of the programs that we put on as an organization.
Cayman can attract a lot of top talent because of the nature of the work that we do here. It's very interesting, it's complex, it's sophisticated, it's much more onshore in the way the deals are structured, and the biggest institutions and names in the market are doing business in the Cayman Islands, so that attracts and retains top talent, which I don't think would be here without it. So a customer who comes to the Cayman Islands to use it for business purposes will find that the Cayman Islands is a sophisticated jurisdiction. It's very easy to do business, but it also has strong, robust laws and a very good governance framework. Strong regulation is quite important these days to most users of the jurisdiction. If they're coming here to actually live or to work, then they will find a highly educated population, a very safe and friendly, welcoming environment, and obviously a great place to live.
Cayman Islands is a really fantastic place. Not only is it a wonderful and beautiful location, it also has the infrastructure that's necessary to conduct business. So the internet works, the roads are really substantial, a modern airport, and all that contributes to enabling Cayman to be a great place to do business. to both conduct business from, but also to be a client of the Cayman location. It is an international hub for the finance industry.
The Cayman Islands financial services industry will evolve to changing trends. Our vision is for the Cayman Islands to be a globally respected financial services center of excellence, and to continue with the approach that's made us successful this far, which is to listen to the market needs, adhere to international standards, and produce products that adhere to those standards, that fights criminality but still produces sound business that creates jobs and creates tax revenue in other countries.